You like jelly beans, bro?
I do like the
Like
the
the
egg.
like the what's the name of that brand that had a bean? It's just a bean on the bag.
No, see, I only like Starburst jelly beans, bro. Those the real jelly. You gotta try those, bro. Those the
Oh,
real jelly.
see, the crazy thing is, right? Not to, I got my braces off less than a year ago, so I couldn't eat candy for like 2 years. So I couldn't eat like Sour Patch Kids, Skittles, none of that. No Starburst, nothing. And since I had it off, I haven't had Skittles yet. I think I maybe had Starburst one time, but my is just like the Charlie sour gummy worms.
Yeah.
That's my stuff. That's mine. That's what I that's what I like when I choose candy. It's either that or if I'm getting chocolate, I'm rocking with the Reese's. Reese's is top
They
tier
go
chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
good candy.
Top tier chocolate. You know? And you know what's crazy? Before we started recording, you be on TikTok?
Nah, I don't.
Bruh, TikTok is a crazy place.
I be hearing.
It is insane. So look, I remember one time I was on TikTok. It was maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was just scrolling on the For You page. It's just like the Explore page on Instagram or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through funny videos, people dancing, people like cooking, recipes. That's the type of stuff I be into. Like people cooking and cleaning. It's weird. I'm weird. Like people cleaning, doing like stuff like it's weird. I like watching stuff like that. But I'm doing that, and people can go live on there, right? And I
You
scroll
go
through.
live on TikTok.
Hell yeah, same things like Instagram stuff like that. So I was scrolling through, right, and I went through twice. There's two people on live. All right, the first live I scroll past is two people there in like little squares like we are, and they're like one dude got his shirt off, sweating. He like and the other dude's just like looking at the chat. So I'm like, what the. So I keep scrolling through. I'm like, whatever. And I watch a funny ass video that I like. I'm like, cool, that's funny as hell. And I scroll down, and I swear to you, it looks like somebody's just in a bomb shelter, and it's dark. I hear like sirens, and I just see somebody's foot moving around. It's crazy. TikTok is a wild place, bro.
Somebody put me there.
With a person who's recording, I mean, they were like laying down like this, and like their foot
Yeah.
was moving and shit like that. But welcome back to another episode of the Cozy Corner, man. We here off the LN, off the late night, because of audio technical difficulties in the podcast we recorded before. So we back, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff to get into. We got a few things with the NFL, but basketball is what we're going to start with. Bruh, these past 2 weeks been stupid in the NBA. Scoring on top of scoring on top of scoring on top of scoring. You know what I'm saying? It's too many names to count that score like 40-something points. There's like 20 people. You know what I'm saying?
Bron fans got excited.
Bruh, Bron getting them stats, boy. Bron
Yeah,
getting
he
them
just
stats off.
that how he not the greatest scorer. He just had 50.
Hey,
Damn,
man.
I ever seen a man get 50 before?
He had 50 twice in like a week.
I know. No. But this is like the first 50. And then everybody else exploded off the 50.
Bruh, it get to the point where it's like, he could do everything, bro. He could really do
But is he
everything.
the greatest scorer of all time?
The greatest forward. See,
Forward.
I don't like getting
The
that
greatest
comment.
scorer of all
Oh, scorer? Hell no. I don't think so. I don't think so. He's one of, but the greatest no. No. Because if we count forwards, I'm thinking like Tim Duncan. I'm still thinking about Tim Duncan. 'Cause he didn't really play center like that. He always played next to a center. So you do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Karl Malone still. Well, I think he just passed Karl Malone. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just talking about pure scores, like KD is a forward. The stats may not say it, bro, because of injury, but who you taking to give you 50 on a given night? Who you rather put your money on to get 50 on any given night? Easy.
Yeah, LeBron's not the greatest scorer of all time. But he is one of them, like you said.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
That is perfectly fine. It's A-okay. He's like probably like, I would say like top 5, top 8, you know what I'm saying, scorer of all time. like not statistically, but like, you know what I'm saying. If you really tapped into the hoops, you feel me? Then top 5, top 8. I wouldn't be mad if he was top 3 in your list. I don't really care, you know. But
No matter as long as he's not number one.
hell yeah. Speaking of 50 balls, what's been going on these past couple of days? We had back-to-back 60 balls.
Somebody do it.
Cat had 60 against the Spurs and a good dub. Man, shout out to the Timberwolves, man. They're over 40 wins this year. You know what I'm saying? Over 40 wins, which I didn't expect for them to do this year. I did have them in the position that they are in the preseason when we did our playoff predictions, but I didn't expect them to be as good as they were. I was expecting them to be friends, like 10 seed, but they firmly in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Win one game and they 7 seeds. And it might work out for them too if they do get the 7 seed. Them going against the Grizzlies might work out. It could work out. They can make a nice little run if they end up getting the Grizzlies, because that's an even matchup in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So shout out to the Timberwolves. I had to say something about that. But tonight, Kai, the Yo-Yo Man, you know what I'm saying? Kyrie, whatever you want to call him, 60 points. Young man had 41 and a half. 41 at the half.
Yeah, it's crazy because before the game started, I was looking at we was talking about this shit. Man, probably average. He's still fucking around be the best point guard in the league right now. Like he averaged 26 and not even playing every day. You know, I look at the stats, I'm like, that he really averaged 26, 5, and 5.
His shooting split's crazy.
Right, and then he just dropped 60, so now he probably averaging 27 and a half.
And he had 50 last week.
Right.
Like, literally last Tuesday, he had 50 points against the Hornets. This week, he got 60 against the Magic.
Man, who's really better than that man, right?
Bruh.
At the point guard. Who really, if he wasn't on so much bullshit, he really would be probably right up there with Steph. If not better than Steph.
Him, Steph, and Dame would be like neck and neck if it wasn't so for some of the other stuff. But man, that dude got so much talent, bro. And I really hope that once his career is over, that we remember this over like all the other trivial bullshit that sometimes he be indulging into.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I think of Kyrie, I think of boogieing. I don't think about nothing else. I think about Kyrie getting down to boogieing, giving you 50. There's one move in particular, right, that I still remember, and I cannot replicate. When they was playing against the Warriors and he was in Boston, he had Steph on the left side of the floor, around the elbow. He had him, I think he had him like in front of him. He crossed over, spun, and then like froze, and then turned around, hit a jump shot. I don't know how he froze like that. He crossed over, got into a half spin, and froze with his back turned like this.
That's good rhythm.
And then turned around and hit a jumper. Shit crazy.
No, that's what we were talking about though. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about earlier. I was saying this nigga around play 240.
He
when
really
gonna stop shaking.
He
only really getting better.
You know who his godfather is? His godfather, Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland got busy. You know what I'm saying? Busy.
He really only getting better. And I guess he's getting healthier since he's not playing every game.
Yeah, he get the rest. Like, I just dropped 50. I could chill for a day or two. Come back against the Sixers, bust their ass. You want to talk about the Sixers for a second? They going through their little rough patch right now, where they've had 2 nationally televised games and they lost both of them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what to say about the Sixers. Nothing surprising. I just hope they get this. I just hope they see the Cavs in the first round.
The Cavs are gonna be a tough matchup for them too. If you've seen the games they actually play tomorrow, or technically tonight because it's past midnight, but they play like today, 7:00 or 7:30.
Jared Allen though, how long is Jared Allen supposed to be out?
I have no idea. I don't think they said, but still, yeah, fractured the hell out of his finger. But Since he been gone, Evan Mobley been hooping 21 and 10 a game with I think 2 blocks. This draft class is actually insane.
Nah, who's they playing last time? He was really going at
They're
him and
playing the
somebody going.
Clippers, him and
Yeah, him and
Zubats.
Zubac going fucking bad. I'm like, yeah, this is crazy.
Zubac is wild, bro. The Clippers are a weird team to me. Because if they add PG and Kawhi, they can definitely win the title. Because that's how good all their role players are. You know what I'm saying? Like Terrence Mann, Say what?
They got pieces.
They have hella pieces. And they still got pieces hurt. Norman Powell still hurt. Robert Covington didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris Sr., Zubats, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, BJ Ball. They got a lot of dudes over there that can really hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But outside of that, let's dip into some real talk because this is a thing that I wanted to hammer home because we said it in the last time we recorded. Nikola Jokic is he your front runner for the MVP? I think after last night he's a front runner for MVP for me.
Yeah. If Embiid was ever the top dude, then Jokic had to be above to me.
Mm-hmm.
If the standard was Embiid for the MVP the whole season, Jokic.
Yeah.
It was a step ahead of that standard.
Yeah, and then with MVP voting, it gets kind of tricky because, in my opinion, there's a lot of gray area because it depends on who you ask. Like, if you ask somebody, they say the MVP is the best player on the best team, or is it just the best player in the league? Because if it is, it should be so-and-so, or what is it? You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of gray area in that. Now, where I land is firmly in the gray area. It all depends. The context of the season depends. Like, Jokic is out there. They have over 40 wins. They're firmly in the playoffs. He's having a better season than he did last year. And he's missing 2 max players that will fill in 20 points each, at least.
Yeah, I think people forget how good Michael Porter Jr.
I think people forget how good his dynamic with Jamal Murray is. Jamal Murray, and
I don't think people really know how good dynamic. Just froze up.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just froze up.
Yep, you definitely froze. We good. We here. We live on stage.
But yeah, I don't think people really know how good their dynamic is.
Like, they're like lockstep with everything they do. Them handoffs, you know what I'm saying, the ball screens, everything is crazy. And Jamal Murray's shooting ability is insane. And good news is he just got assigned to the G League team, so hopefully he'll be back soon. But Michael Porter Jr. is still probably going to be out for the remainder of the season, which sucks, but get healthy, bro. You still young in your career. You got a lot game left, a whole lot of game left, bro. But back to the point. There is a shortage of what we just did, giving Nikola Jokic love, right? And I explain this in the frame of we're American. The NBA is American, right? And generalizing the statement that I had earlier was that European players are not going to be marketed as such because it's a different style of game. Now, you have exceptions to the rules, guys like Luka. Or I'm not even going to count Giannis because Giannis, well, I would count Giannis, I guess. But those 2 players are exceptions to the rules because their play style is more so the American type of play style, like individual dominance. You know what I'm saying? By scoring the ball only, like scoring. Luka is a wizard passing too. Giannis has improved as a passer, but Giannis is dominant. You can show him dunking on people over and over and over again and blocking shots and just bullying people. You can show Luka crossing people up and hitting 30-foot threes, you know what I'm saying, and throwing behind the head passes and things of that nature. But whereas with Jokic, his play style isn't one that you can market as a thing that is the next big thing in the NBA because it's kind of like a throwback to like before. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm going to catch the ball, I'm going to bang you down low, and then I'm going to throw a nice little jump hook over your head, and you're not gonna do anything about it. Or it's really slow and methodical where I'll catch it here, jab you, pump fake, drive by you, bang into you, spin back the other way with a right hand hook, or just tip the ball to myself, get a layup. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of skill, but it's like the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? And the passing can only get you so far. And I don't know, man. It's just a different way that the American game is played. He plays it and he dominates it in his way. But I don't think it's very marketable, and that's why I don't think he gets a whole lot of love.
It don't seem like he really want to be.
Yeah, and that's a factor too. His personality is very laid back. He's not a guy where he's constantly seeking attention or getting attention for what he says in the media, because he's not trying to rock the boat. He's just chilling. He play video games. He hoop. He got a wife. He got a kid. He be chilling. You know, he's like a Tim Duncan type. You know what I'm saying?
I got him a nice ass spot up in Denver, Colorado.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Up in the mountains. I don't know, man. I just don't think he gets a whole lot of love, and that's essentially where I'm kind of at with it in a sense. But yeah,
I don't think he gets the love he deserves.
Indeed, he definitely doesn't. And another factor is how talented the league is. Like we said to start the show, bro. We've had a scoring tear where Gary Trent got 40, De'Aaron Fox got 45. You know what I'm saying? LeBron 50, Tatum 50, Kyrie 50, Kyrie 60, Cat 60, KD 50 again. You know what I'm saying? Julius 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just constant.
Josh Hart 44.
Yeah, like Josh Hart scored 44 points against the Wizards. That's crazy. That's a hell of a.
40 last night, then?
You said what?
Didn't Steph have 40 against us last night?
Yeah, he had like 41 points in 15 minutes with Draymond on the floor. Like,
the Warriors are back.
This quite possibly may be the best basketball we've ever seen. This stretch. You know what I'm saying? In terms of production, the greatest. And we might be embarking on like the greatest playoffs that we've had in the past 5 or so years. Like, because we were talking about this, right? Let's dip into the Eastern Conference playoff picture for a little second. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm gonna pull up the standings while we do this. You feel me? Boom. Let's go to the NBA website, NBA.com. Let's pull up the stand. The Grizzlies went 135 to 102. Good Lord, bro. I didn't really pay attention to the final score of the Nets game. You know what the final score of the Nets game was? They won by 42 points. It was 150 to 108.
Kyrie was going to go for 70, 80 for it.
I did too. I thought he was going to try to get 70, but he was just trying to break the Nets record, and then boom. Okay. So this is the playoff picture as of 3/16/2022. We're going to start in the East. The East play-in tournament is number 9 Atlanta against number 10 Charlotte, and number 7 Toronto against number 8 Brooklyn. These are one-game scenarios. 9-10 in a matchup between them two. I'm rocking with the Hawks. I'm pretty sure you're rocking with the Hawks in a situation like that too. Trae Young. I forgot to mention Trae Young and all of these ridiculous performances. He had like 42 and 15. Like, it's so crazy, bro. It's so crazy. The Hawks are at 500. I didn't expect them to get back to 500, but they're 34 and 34. And then Toronto and Brooklyn. This one is tough. Now, if they were to play in the playing game, either way, Kyrie's not gonna be able to play because it's either gonna be in Brooklyn or be in Toronto. So, in a one-game scenario, are you trusting the system that Nick Nurse has put in place, or are you trusting KD? because Ben Simmons is not going to be there. We'll talk about Ben Simmons in a second once we get through this.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust Kevin Durant gonna get his figures.
Mm-hmm.
Who won't? I guess Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, they're gonna make it tough. They're gonna get up 50.
I
But how many? I know Cleveland and Toronto probably close. How many games are they?
Cleveland and Toronto. There's a 1-game difference, so 6-7.
So hopefully Toronto gets above Cleveland, then we can see Kyrie play against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Then Cleveland fuck around and make the playoffs.
And that would fucking suck, because I want Cleveland to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not going to have Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons is playing this season. You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on, right? Yeah. It feels like people don't know what's going on with Ben Simmons.
I thought they said he's looking good.
So when he first got there, he was trying to come back. He was ramping up, and then he had some type of back problem, you know, and apparently he has chronic back issues. Didn't know that. I had no idea, but apparently that was a thing. It was happening when he was in Philly, and we just didn't know about it. Like, he was having like so much discomfort with his back that he was like throwing up and shit. Didn't know that. But yeah, that's the case. He tweaked his back, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is right now. So I don't think he's gonna be playing this season.
Will soon Ben Simmons will.
Yeah, and I didn't think this was like a like win-win right now kind of thing, just because of the whole Kyrie situation and the Ben Simmons situation, where they would try to rush to try to make this push. I still think they can get pretty far in the playoffs, but with this kind of thing happening, if it's just gonna be KD for some of these games, it's gonna be hard to kind of do that in a series where you know, where you got to do it by yourself. So that will move Brooklyn to the 7th seed if they were to win that game, and then Toronto will play Atlanta. That would be fun as hell to watch. And in a 1-game scenario for that, that's tough, because you got Trey, who does everything, against Toronto, who's like ultimate defensive minded team. But I think Toronto will win that game, just in a 1-game scenario, just because of the size thing. Like, they can throw like 4, 5, 6 different people at Trey. You know, they can switch it up. And Fred is a great defender too. They're similar size. He's a great defender, and yeah, I think Toronto will sneak in. So that will. Ooh, boy, that playoff side is crazy. Because look, 1-8 would be Miami, Toronto, dogfight. 2-7, Brooklyn, dogfight. 3-6, Cleveland, Philly, dogfight. 4-5, Boston, Chicago, dogfight. And in this scenario, regardless to whoever wins, one of these teams, all 8 of those teams, well, I would say 7. Do you think Toronto could win the title this year? Do you think Chicago could win the title this year?
If they can stay healthy, I would say yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Patrick Brooks could get hurt. So.
Yeah.
I would say no.
So I would say 6. I don't think Cleveland could win it. So I'm gonna say 5. So you got Miami, Philly, Boston, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn. Those 5 teams could legitimately win the finals. And at least one of those teams is going to go out in the first round. Whether it be Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami, Philadelphia, or Boston. So yeah, we're shaping up for excellent playoffs, you know what I'm saying? And before we go any further, let's move over to the West side, because the West side is a little bit, it seems like it's a little less friction, but we still going to be bumping over in the West. You know what I'm saying? Especially once you get deeper into the playoffs, like with the matchups. The play-in tournament will be the Lakers and the Pelicans. Let me see what the difference is in games between the Lakers and Pelicans, because it makes a difference between home and road. So the Lakers are a game and a half up on New Orleans in the standings, and right now they would be the 9th seed. So they would play New Orleans. They would have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs, essentially, right? Do you think they could beat New Orleans, the condition that they're in right now?
We'll assume Anthony Davis is there. We also might assume that Zion Williamson might be there too. If Zion there, then they about to play him. But if Zion not there, then yeah, I think the Lakers should beat the Pelicans.
Okay. And in an 8-7 matchup between Minnesota and the Clippers, who's winning that? And I'm in this scenario, I'm assuming Kawhi and PG aren't coming back.
Assuming they're not coming back, so I'll take Timberwolves.
Okay.
Patrick Beverly against the old Clippers.
Bruh, did you get a chance to see that Patrick Beverly thing with JJ Redick, the interview?
No,
Shit's fire. If you haven't, go watch that. Go listen to that after you finish this. Fire. And so that will put them at the 7th seed going against Memphis. And then, spicy enough, we got the Lakers going against the Clippers, and a winner go home to get into the playoffs.
So that's the only way we're ever going to see that.
Who you got winning? Because I tell you this, the last time that they played, and AD was there, Reggie Jackson did that goofy ass hop and got his ass down the court and got a bucket and won the game.
If the Clippers was healthy, then I would definitely take the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
But Brown not gonna go for it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
This nigga Anthony Davis talking shit. You see what he said about the Suns?
Yeah. The funniest part. Did you see what Devin Booker said?
A little bit. What he said? That's what he's supposed to say or something like that.
Nah, he said if a if was a fifth, yeah, and if was a fifth, then my aunt would have something between her legs and be my uncle.
They just talking shit now, so now they got so now niggas got me.
Oh my god.
No, I don't even know why he said that. Now they got me. Guess that's how he feeling. Shit.
And he did it so cool though, cause he had the shades on, you know what I'm saying, with the Cuban on, with a nice little sweater. He was talking his shit. Shout out to D Book, man. Shout out to the Suns. Suns are really the best team in the league. In the regular season. I don't know about the playoffs, but regular season, the best team in the league, man.
What you saying earlier is the MVP the best player on the best team is Chris Paul didn't get hurt. Shit, Chris Paul might be mine.
Bruh, I still claim that the 2020 MVP should have been Chris Paul. What he did for that OKC team, crazy. I still think he should have won that bitch, but it is what it is. I ain't finna fight over it, but I still think in my heart of hearts he should have got that hell. And the one in 08. Shout out to CP, man. Hall of Fame, one of the greatest point guards to ever live. You know what I'm saying? At what he 36, 35, still a top, I would say a top 5, top 3 point guard in the NBA. Still to this day, you know. But dipping into the first round. So say for instance the Lakers do win. They gotta play Phoenix. They ain't beating Phoenix. Phoenix.
Davis said I was healthy, we would have fucking won.
I don't give a fuck what Anthony Davis said.
I'm giving the nigga that's talking shit.
I ain't trying to hear none of that. They out.
Chris Paul hurt. Chris Paul might be back for the first one. Maybe.
You see how they've been rolling teams up without Chris Paul? And they won games without Chris Paul in that series last year. So if you want to play the if game, Anthony Davis was hurt. Chris Paul got hurt in game 1. So it's kind of like the same kind of thing. So it's still even, you feel me? Like, you know, and the Lakers, roster-wise, are way worse than they were the year before. So, you know.
DeAndre Ayton going to step up to the plate. He stepped up to the plate last playoffs.
Did you see what he did against Bam last week?
They was whooping their ass. Yeah, that's what he was looking at. That was without Jim.
Yeah, and that was D Book first game back from COVID. No Chris Paul and yeah. But these aren't the 1-8, 2-7. The 2-7 is interesting because we talked about it earlier with the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. That's a coin flip type of series. Just because Memphis isn't, neither one of these teams are really experienced at having that playoff bump. You know what I'm saying? Especially like, well, I mean, if you want to count one playoff series here and there, Cat and D'Lo both have one playoff series, not on the same team, but they have playoff experience. Patrick Beverly has playoff experience. And the Grizzlies had playoff experience from last year, but they weren't like the top dog. So that would be a fire ass matchup. Another fire matchup is Utah and Dallas. Utah and Dallas has the chance to be one of them series where it's like it goes 7 and every game is decided by 1 or 2 points.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of those series. You remember? I know you probably. Some people gonna remember that's listening. This was a series in 2009, Derrick Rose rookie year, when the Bulls played the Celtics, fresh off the title. You know what I'm saying? In that game, I think that series went 7, and it was that series where Derrick Rose had like 28 and 9 in the game 1, and they won, and then Joakim Noah and them was going back and forth. It was it was a tough series. Tough, one of the greatest series I've seen in my life. It has a chance to be one of those. You know what I'm saying?
Anything with D Rose in the Chicago Bulls uniform in the playoffs is bad.
For surely. Some of those series with the Heat was crazy. Even the 2015 run when they played the Bucks in the first round against a young Giannis, got out of there, and then they had that battle against Cleveland. Boy, they had them back-to-back game winners. D Rose hit one, then LeBron hit one. Yeah, hell yeah. And then 3-6 is Golden State and Denver, which is it's tough.
All right, see.
You rather see Memphis and Denver?
Golden State versus let Golden State beat shit out of Minnesota. I don't care about.
So my question is, right? Would you rather see Minnesota? To be honest with you, I'd rather see Minnesota and Memphis over Denver and Memphis, because it's still like the young teams. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, and they going at it. They going through war together. You feel me?
Yeah, I want to see him get up. I don't think Jokic's getting out the first round. He really could beat them, but I don't want to see.
I mean, I don't think he beating him with Draymond back. I don't know about that. that might be a 4-1 series.
Timberwolves beat. Might let the Timberwolves get smacked, but they're gonna get smacked
by who? Memphis?
By anybody besides Memphis. I'm saying, if they get past the first round, they're gonna get smacked by anybody.
You think they'd get smacked by Dallas?
I'm not putting no faith in the Timberwolves.
Really? Maybe I'm a little bit high on them because those are my guys. Because, you know what I'm saying, D-Lo my guy. I love Patrick Beverly too. I love Jared Vanderbilt because of the Kentucky connection. You feel me? Kentucky connection. You know what I'm saying? and then
they can be different.
Anthony Edwards is like that dude. He's one of them ones.
Yeah.
So
I just rather see Ja versus Jokic. But that series can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
And if those two MVP.
My man lagging again. This whole shit and froze. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this. We gonna be right back, y'all. So, bruh, he joined the space and he was talking. Essentially, Chris Haynes is in the space and he's essentially just like, bruh, Chris Haynes, you be feeding the media narrative about triple doubles. I knew Russ was a cancer, but that's a media thing, and they be underrating guys like Harden and Giannis and saying that they not better than KD, and then everybody started laughing. And then when Chris Haynes tried to answer, he was like, "Yeah, I don't even know why I asked you, cause you biased."
Damn.
And then the craziest part before that, before I got my internet back on, that's why the conversation jumped. Um, there was another dude in there asking another question. He was like, "Why did they get Russ instead of DeRozan?" And it was like a contract thing. And then the guy was like, "So LeBron didn't want Russ?" And he was like, "No, they first started talking to DeRozan. The contracts didn't line up. So it was like, yeah, we're gonna go with Russ." He was like, "What you mean?" So he didn't choose Russ. He chose DeRozan, but they said no. Which is like, okay, but he still chose Russ too. So it's like, what you trying to say, bro? Like, come on now. But you should get in some of those spaces. They be funny as hell, bro. I'm telling you. But welcome back. We were off for like 20 minutes because my internet went down. I'm kind of running out of time because I have to go to work in a few hours. But we're gonna finish our conversation. We was talking about, would we rather see Memphis go against Minnesota or Denver go against the Warriors in the first round of the playoffs. And I said Minnesota and Memphis because young guns going at it is always fun. And if it's like a hobble, like a half of Jamal Murray and no Michael Porter Jr., it's like, you feel me? I don't see the upside of seeing that battle, unless you can see it from a lens of Ja versus Jokic, which is cool, but I prefer to see that Minnesota and Memphis series play out if they do secure that 7th seed, because they have to beat the Clippers, and Clippers are tough. So
yeah.
In question,
This might be a hot take.
Go ahead.
But I think Jokic sending John Morant home.
Yeah, for sure. If they match up, I think that can happen. But question: if, say for instance, if Minnesota loses that game and the Lakers win, who are you taking in that playing game? The final playing game. Yeah, Minnesota, like Timberwolves against the Los Angeles Lakers.
I told you before we cut off, not put no faith in the Timberwolves.
Okay, I'm just testing. I'm just checking the temperature. You know what I'm saying? Just checking temp. What else can we talk about, bro? Cause that whole little gap just threw my whole flow off, bro. And we was flowing, bro. That's tough. You want to talk about football for a little bit?
So you want to talk about football?
Yeah.
Chiefs letting that boy Matthew Watson.
Yeah, they didn't offer him no contract.
They gonna sign Justin.
That's not. I guess younger, less injuries.
Yeah.
I can see
it's
that.
a good pickup.
Yeah, Justin Reed is nice.
Yeah, that's a slap in the face time, man.
Yeah, it's disrespectful, but that's how the business go. Oh, no. One thing I do want to talk about before we jump to football. If y'all haven't, I already recommended y'all one interview. If you didn't, I'm talking to you too, bro. You watched The Pivot, right? With Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder. Jump with Michael Beasley came out today.
Yeah, I seen it.
Watch that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch that.
It's going to touch a nerve. You might get emotional. But I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. Like, bro, Michael Beasley, his situation, like growing up, is fucked up. Like, from everybody that he knew that put him on the basketball, using him. From everybody, he said everybody in his life stole from him at one point. Everybody stole from him at one point, right? And he grew up in the city in D.C. Wasn't too much money, evicted all the time, and his mom was working so much that she was never around. So he had to learn everything on his own. And when he became adult, people tried to not tried to tell him what to do, but they told him everything that he was doing was wrong. Like, however he would approach the way he would talk to somebody, or the way he would go about his business, they would say it was wrong, but nobody would ever fucking help him. they would just tell him, you're doing that wrong, but no help. And he would reach out and try to get help. Nobody would fucking help him. So it in turn that makes it just like, bruh, I keep trying new things to do, and I just end up running into the same problem where you're telling me I'm doing it wrong. Help me, my nigga, help me. It's scary, bro, because it's like he was to the point where I don't do nothing but go play basketball and go home. I don't go outside. I don't talk to people. I just talk to my kids, and that's it.
Yeah.
That shit's scary, bro. Like, even like with us from being where we from, like, that's not good because we in a situation where we already have somebody like that, like Delonte West. Delonte West situation fucked up too, because like I don't know his background, his story. It may be something similar to what Michael Beasley's going through or had to go through as a kid and growing up, and people just constantly using him and shit like that. But I just wanted to talk about that for a second because I feel like that was important. That struck a nerve with me earlier because everybody needs help in some sort of way. You know what I'm saying? You can't go through everything alone, and yeah. Go listen to that full thing because that was good. That was great. It gives you an insight into like the mind of an athlete, and it'll help you. Hopefully, it helps you when you if you try to come into a space like this where you're critiquing or you're talking about sports and things like that. Because at the end of the day, these are people. So, salute to you, bees. Fuck with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? We always gonna fuck with you from the area. Putting on, doing a whole lot of great stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much what I had to say about that. But back to football. We didn't talk about the Russell Wilson trade. Russell Wilson got traded. The Cowboys traded Amari Cooper to the Browns. The Browns may not have Baker Mayfield. The Falcons are in the race for trading for Deshaun Watson. Just stop me whenever you find something interesting enough that you want to stop and talk about. The Seahawks released Bobby Wagner. Tom Brady's coming back. As if he's a maniac, so I kind of expected him to come back.
He said he got around his family and he said, fuck.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, you make a big decision and it's like, damn, I kind of want to go back. You just go back.
Yeah, boy, Ronaldo played again. Shit ain't for me. Shit sitting in the stands ain't for me.
Yeah, that's how he felt. And somebody got sacked. You know what getting sacked means?
What?
You know who Ball Sack Sports is?
Oh, yeah.
So if somebody, like, quotes them as something accurate, it's called getting sacked. Somebody on ESPN got sacked.
I'm not gonna lie. First I was seeing that shit, I'm like, cause I mean, they tweet the shit so proper, you would think it was real, but when I actually looked at the fucking name, I'm like,
it's a Ball Sack Sports.
Yeah, there's no way this shit is.
Hey, bro, if I ever get sacked, bro, please beat my ass, bro. Please, if I ever get sacked, delete me off the internet, bro. Cause sometimes that shit will catch you, cause you don't actually see it. You don't read the account name. You just read it, and it's the same wording that they use from like a official person, like Adam Schefter or Woj or somebody like that. And that shit is crazy, bro. That shit is so crazy, dog. But the Ball Sack Sports thing said that LeBron sent him a text, and let me see if I could pull it up, bro, cause that shit is hilarious. Oh my god, bro.
Oh.
Ball Sack Sports. Here we go. They're not even verified on Twitter, which is hilarious. I'm gonna read their pinned tweet. It says, "Today we will focus on the dangers of misinformation in the media, the stress and importance of media literacy. Social media and the internet has enabled users to create and spread misinformation at record rates. Not everything you see on the internet or social media will be real." And then they have like a little graph that says like fake quote on it. Shit like that. Focus. Shit like that. So let me see if I can find the real thing. Oh man.
Yeah, the Jaguars released Miles Jack.
They said they were trying to move on from Laviska Shenault too. I seen that. What else? Khalil Mack got traded. You want to talk about Khalil Mack while I find this quote?
Chargers, the AFC West favorites to me.
Indeed, they are, bro. They really are.
Before the draft.
That shit is crazy, bro.
And they got J.C. Jackson.
Yeah, they just signed J.C. Jackson today too. This shit is they. Hey man, they trying to get a squad now. Oh, he sacked Stephen A. Hey yo. Okay. So I seen this. So this was a fake tweet that they put out. Well, a fake article that they put out. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Kyrie beat James Harden one-on-one almost every day in practice. And Kyrie was barely even in basketball shape. It demoralized Harden. Things reached a breaking point in a game where Kyrie called Harden washed after completely locking him up in one scrimmage. An assistant had to break up the two as tempers flared and the relationship spiraled downhill from there.
Yeah, I did see that. I think that was the one I probably talking about when I thought it was real until I seen who posted that shit. But that could have really been true. I don't know if that was true. He probably the way he locked his ass up.
He did lock his ass up.
Seemed like Kyrie was definitely busting his ass.
And then he went to go put the little leg sleeve on. That shit crazy. Hey, bro. Go ahead, bro. I'm still trying to find this. Oh, there you go. Okay. So this is the quote from the fake quote from Boss Exports from Tom Brady. Tom Brady on LeBron convincing him to unretire. He texted me, "Hey, we're the best ever at what we do. We're competing with each other." At this point, when he dropped 54 or whatever the other day, I texted him, "All right, I'm coming back." That's fucking terrible. That is a terrible quote to go off of. And why would he just say that? Whatever. Okay. What I do want to talk about what's interesting with football for me, the Atlanta Falcons, not Calvin Ridley. I don't really have any thoughts on that anymore. It was kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of not. But Deshaun Watson, Atlanta Falcons, your thoughts? It's not official, nothing really happened, but they're in conversations.
I get he's an Atlanta outside of Atlanta guy.
Mm-hmm.
But don't do that to yourself, Deshaun Watson.
What's wrong with that?
They got Matt. What they gonna do with Matt Ryan? They just gonna cut him?
They might trade him. I have no idea. I don't know. They may cut Matt Ryan. I don't know.
Yeah. Shit, Matt Ryan been holding it down. The Falcons not ass because of him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they ass. They ain't gonna even try. Yeah, the Falcons are. Yeah, they might as well stay on the fucking team.
I mean, they suck. So say for instance, if they do suck, right? And they get Deshaun Watson. I'm assuming they're giving up first round picks. They'll have to. How many? I don't know. If they could keep this year's one, they can get a wide receiver, because wide receivers in this draft, tough. Jameson Williams, tough. Chris Olave, tough. Garrett Wilson, tough. And that's just first round, man. Come on. And then you back in business. Right back in business.
He'll be fighting his ass off. He'll be that guy. He'll be the king of the city.
Mm-hmm. For sure. One more. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's under Deshaun Watson. That's not it.
Yeah. One more quarterback scenario, and then we're going to get out of here because we almost at an hour. Baker Mayfield to the Colts. Your thoughts?
I don't think Baker Mayfield's that bad. He was hella banged up last year.
Torn labrum, things of that nature.
He was fucked up, man. He was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I'm not gonna sit here and vouch for him and say he's good, but he's definitely not that bad.
Facts.
But it seems like he's on his way out of Cleveland.
And I echo that sentiment. I think it would be good for the Colts. You know what I'm saying? But they will have to pay him for one, and for two, How about that, Browns fans? You had the best season that you had in a long time, and over a year later, you're looking for another fucking quarterback.
Texas said they're not trading him to the AFC.
Uh-uh.
So can't go because that's where he need to go. He need to go to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I saw that they said they got Allen Robinson last night. Then when I looked it up this morning, I ain't
Nah,
seen it.
he's still available.
So, uh, but I would. He could. All you got to do is hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Make a couple of right decisions, which
You got a
Baker
big
does
deep.
do that.
You got a big deep threat in Michael Pittman. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I'm fucking with. I
got a
don't know.
good,
Colts fans
got a solid O line. Cool.
they should still. Well, yeah, I think Baker can take them to the playoff.
Yeah, I think he could take him to the offs too, man. But yeah, man, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, man. We've been through a lot to get this one episode. We take 1 week off. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our shit in order. We come back. First episode record in person. Fucked up.
There's some video.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all this. It was toe up from the floor up. So we recorded, right? I'm using this blue. This is my dynamic microphone that I use now. You know what I'm saying? I had to step the big boy game up. First one time we was using it, I was using this motherfucker. This right here, Blue Snowball. This is a great first mic. Problem, it picks up everything, right? And I'm using the mic like this as like a regular microphone because we sit next to each other talking, right? Family is in the other room back there, yelling, right? No fault of their own. They doing their thing, we doing our thing. No disrespect there, but goddamn, it picked up everything. Old conversations, people yelling, my mic too loud. Ain't no way for me to turn it down because I'm in the moment. It's fucked up. My bad, but we here. You know what I'm saying? We here, and you know what I'm saying, we had to get it out the mud this episode. You know what I'm saying? So we here.
Waiting.
You know what I'm saying? 2:38 a.m. recording. You know what I'm saying? We in that lab. You feel me? But that's gonna be it for this episode, man. Yeah, man. Like, subscribe, comment if you're new on YouTube. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff, leave us a review. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, leave a comment down below. Follow us on Twitter. Our ads on the screen if you're listening. At Cozy Boy Don, which is I. At _ Kenny1K, which is my brother right here. Follow us. I'll be tweeting a lot. I got Twitter fingers, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to talk during the game, basketball game, something like that, I'm here. But man,
Casual basketball analysis.
Casual basketball analyst right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Till next time, folks. Stay cozy.